Action.
Thank you.
I just wanted to do that.
So we just got home from church a little bit ago.
It's raining.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's supposed to be on a drought.
And really good sermon, as always, Pastor Ryan.
Corn makes whiskey.
I'm talking about church, and you're singing about whiskey.
It was the rain song. I didn't really think about what
the
words were.
All right. So, anyways, we got home from church. Sermon was really awesome. Our pastor is like so stinking good every week.
Impact Church, Ryan Sharp, shout out.
Yeah. It's like every week he's reading my diary. I don't know.
He does
a
great job.
He's always talking about something that I'm wrestling with. It's probably it.
Do you say reading your diary?
That's what it feels like. So, I mean, come on. You can't even say that. On the way to church today, I was talking to Corey about something.
But his sermon series for the past weeks have just been relevant to what's going on in the world each week.
Yeah, he's psychic.
I don't think that works for church people. Yeah, that's not, no.
Oh. Anyways, so I was talking to Corey about something that I've been struggling with. I feel like your brother's gonna walk in. So? Okay. And can we pause it?
No. Keep going.
And it's been a big, it's just been hard for me because okay, what do you do when somebody is blatantly hurtful toward you? Like, they're not saying mean things, but they are, but it's just passive. So it's indirectly hurtful, and you know that they're doing it intentionally. And it's something that's been going on for years, and it's just hard to forgive somebody like that. And I'm like, listen, I know I need to forgive this person. I know I need to move on from it and be nice and just be like I am with everybody else. But it's so hard. And on top of that, they say terrible things about our family. They say terrible things about me as a person, and it makes me feel like I have to overcompensate and be somebody I'm not. Be overly nice. Come on, everybody knows that I'm not overly nice. So it's just hard. It's I'm trying to get over it. I'm trying to forgive that person. But how do you forgive somebody when they continue to do the same thing over and over and over? Do you just treat them regular? That's so hard for me. I don't want to do that at all.
Yeah. So I can relate to that too. Just and I can say for a fact that I haven't handled that right at different times. I feel like I'm getting closer to maybe handling it right, but I've held resentment and anger towards people for things, whether it's things they didn't do or things that they did do, things they were doing, and I struggle with the same thing. How do you, and sometimes I did it and I knew I was wrong. I wouldn't forgive people. Yeah. And it even bothered me more when people would say, you need to forgive people. It's also you need to let me figure this out on my own.
Business, Lisa.
Letha. Not Letha Walker. But, and we love you, Letha Walker. But, anyways, I struggled with it. And I think over the course of the past year, roughly, somewhere in this past year, I have been able to forgive people that have hurt me finally. But then what do you do? You're right. So what do they do when they continuously hurt you? It'd be like somebody stabbing me with a knife. I use this extreme, but I think it works. It's somebody stabbing me with a knife and me saying, oh, I forgive you. But then they stab me again. It's I can forgive you, but I need to get you away from me. If it's that person needs to be removed from being able to stab you. If they've been able to be removed from being able to stab you and given that distance, then you can forgive them. And what did Ryan say today? He talked about anger and getting to the root of the human heart and anger.
He talked about Cain and Abel, and the whole
murder.
Root of the cause was he had resentment and anger in his heart, and he felt rejected. And
right.
I can relate to that. And it's so stinking hard. Yeah. So, the one thing that he said that was really cool is you need to just let it go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're oh, but if I forgive them, they're going to think that nothing that they did is wrong. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. And he said, you holding on to that resentment is like letting that person live rent free in your heart.
Right.
And because they probably aren't even giving you a second thought.
Right. They're not. A lot of them aren't even thinking about it. Like, it doesn't bother them and stick with them as much as it sticks with you. And I think I didn't even get to talk to you about this yet, but I was thinking about it today, and it's like it comes into that book Boundaries that we read though too, kind of plays a part in this, because some of the people that have hurt me and still continue to hurt me, by creating a boundary, and things that they feel like maybe they're entitled to because of like title, I guess.
Like, give an example. Oh, like if my parents would feel that they're entitled to Carter and Liberty because they're grandparents. Like
right,
that.
Something like that. So, but you're not entitled to anything. I mean, people remove their kids from homes because the parents aren't being good parents, right? But so we're not entitled to anything. But I still love them. I love the people that, even though they've hurt me, and I've hurt them. I'm just be honest. I've done things intentionally to hurt them. I've said bad things about them too, and I probably need to tell them I'm sorry for that, and I probably need to tell the people that I said bad things about them too, and correct that. But anyways, the thing I was thinking about today too is that there's forgiveness. You can have forgiveness from one, but you can't have reconciliation without both people being on board.
Yeah.
And so to reconcile these relationships, the other person really has to go through the same process of, and it's not required, I'm not asking for it at all, but for them to apologize to us and then correct the bad things that they've said, there's Carter, to, about us too. But I forgive them for doing those things. I forgive them for saying those things and for acting that way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean everything's hunky-dory.
Yeah, there was something else he said that was like so good. I wrote it down at the end. Oh, it was like something about like, so the other thing that he said at the end of the sermon, and I had to write it down because it was so good, and I was going to grab my notes, but I actually remembered it, which is impressive. But he said, you don't forgive people because they deserve it. So you shouldn't be waiting until you think that they're deserving of forgiveness. You forgive people because he deserves it, because God deserves it, because if God will forgive anyone. No sin is too great for God to forgive. And that really convicted me because of all the crap I've done in my life and all of, everything that we've been through. God has forgiven me. So who am I to be holding grudges against people that are sinning against me? I mean,
and think about all this stuff.
It's only hurting me to hold on to that.
And God's forgiven everybody for everything. Like, the worst thing you can imagine, if that person like asks God for forgiveness and opens up their heart to them, then he's already forgiven them, but they can accept that forgiveness too.
Yeah. So that's just something really hard. It's something that I think
that kind of goes along with what I was saying.
What?
Like, people, we can't reconcile with God until we've asked for his forgiveness.
Yeah.
And accepted he's already forgiven us. It's a two-way street for that. So he already forgives us.
That's true.
We have to accept in order to reconcile. So I can forgive the people that have hurt me, or they can forgive me, but unless we both, if they forgave me but I just wanted to hold on to it, then there won't be any reconciliation.
Yeah, so that was just something. It's something I think we both have struggled with, because we try to protect our family, we try to do what's right, but then sometimes in retrospect you look back and you realize that's probably not how God wants us to behave. So forgiveness is something that's hard for me. It is really hard. So it's just something I've been struggling with, and it makes me nervous because of my behavior sometimes. So
hopefully one day we can make another video where we've reconciled things. That would be great.
Yeah, so if you're holding on to something in your heart, I just want you to know you're not alone. I definitely struggle with it. It's hard, but just like Pastor Ryan said today, holding on to that, you're letting somebody live rent free in your heart
Yeah.
because they probably aren't even giving you a second thought, and you shouldn't forgive them because they deserve it. You should forgive them because God deserves it.
And this just hit me like that I should say this, but forgiveness isn't just for girls or pansy dudes. It's for you too. So
for you too.
yeah. So the guy that's sitting there, like that thinks that forgiveness is weak, you're wrong. I'm just gonna be blunt and tell you you're wrong because I was wrong.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt. And anybody that knows me and hangs out with me knows that I'm not some fluffy dude. So you're hearing that coming from me.
Yeah. So try and forgive somebody this week. We'll be praying for you, and we would appreciate prayers in return because we're right beside you.
Yeah, and reach out. Let us know if you're struggling with that. Comments, email. If you just needed somebody to talk to about it.
Snail mail, text message, knock on the door.
No, don't write us letters.
knock on anywhere. Just show up.
Write a letter and send it through a dove.
We'll be here.